What's up, everybody? Jensen Cummings here. Thank you for tuning in on this Saturday, the last couple days of May. This has been a long-ass month, and I am very excited, honored to have DeAndre Carter, chef, owner of Soul and Smoke, as well as Feast and Imbibe in Chicago, Illinois. DeAndre, thank you for being on the show.
Jensen, thanks for having me.
I'm excited to talk with you. So much energy from our man Derek Hull, CEO of the Trotter Project.
Yeah,
we were joking how he name dropped like 70 people on his episode. Perfect. I didn't even have to talk. He was on it and very specifically highlighted you. And then when I followed up with him and his team, said, who should I talk to? I knew the answer, but I was like, who should I talk to next? And they were like, DeAndre. Absolutely has been a bedrock for our mission. And so I'm glad that we get to talk right now. So we'll get into the Trotter Project and some of that, but I want to start with the origin story. Give people some of your background, kind of where did it start for you in the industry?
Okay, yes. Okay, we good now. Repeat that one more time, Jensen.
Yeah, give us some background for you, kind of where you started out in the industry. Give people that origin story.
So yeah, man, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I went to Le Cordon Bleu here in Chicago. Got my associate degree there. I did my internship at Moto. I really love Moto. And then I ended up staying there, worked my way up from intern to executive sous chef there. Currently, while being there, we won our first Michelin star there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent a lot of time in that kitchen between Moto and Ing restaurant.
I love that. So Mauro Cantu was a big influence on you. For sure, changed the game a lot. I think of the cigar, I think of the edible menu and things like that. Talk about being a part of that team, not just the food elements that I think we knew, but being a part of that team, part of the culture, kind of who were some of the other people that you were involved with at that time that were hustling and making things happen for that place.
Yeah, man. I mean, you kind of just you saying those words, like going back, to 2008, 2007, culinary in Chicago was pretty much like at its peak from the kitchen point of view, the guys that's working and the chefs that's working like in the kitchen. Yeah, me walking up in there, I kind of felt, I felt real honored to be a part of that team. We had Ben Roach there. We had Daryl Nemeth, Chris Jones from Top Chef, Richie from Top Chef. Man, so many names. Like I'm an intern in there with that type of crew. So, every day, I never missed a day there. I worked there for 4 years, never missed a day. Was super excited to be there. It was just amazing.
So for you, I mean, from intern to executive sous, not many people make that. That's a massive jump, right, over a 4-year period of time. So talk about what it took for you. Like, who did you have to be in that kitchen to work your way through all of that talent over that 4-year span?
Yeah. So as everyone knows, like with the culinary industry, turnover is really high, especially, for that home cook that's watching those, Food Network shows like, oh, yo, I'm a chef. But when you actually in there, when you getting paid to do it and customers paying top dollars, to dine at where you're working or at a restaurant that you own, it becomes like a priority in life. And, you take a big responsibility to your station, So when I got there as an intern, I started off, you got to run it. First you come in, you prep, when it's service time as an intern, you polishing silver, you running trays, to the window, or you might just need someone to comb me, picking herbs or something like that. But it's an honor. It depends on where you at,
Yeah.
Where you at. It's an honor to do that, because you dare to learn. It's about the passion. It's about being good at what you do. So if me, I wanted to be a really good chef. So, and I felt I was around a really good, talented group of chefs.
Isn't it funny? You go from like being the gopher, go for this, go for that, go for this, right? Intern, hands. I'm sure there's like some fun hazing where they say, go get the bacon stretcher, stuff like that, right?
Yep.
And for you then, it's funny. I think about it like you start as an intern and you're shucking 6 cases of fava beans, just doing grunt work. You excel and excel and excel, and eventually you're a chef owner, and all of a sudden all you want to do is shuck some fava beans and just keep it simple, right? And that's just like such a heavy part of the kitchen. And so you went in that route. You said, I'm going to go and be a chef owner. And you went a little different, right? You went from Michelin star to catering. And that's a big difference stylistically, and the expectations from a quality standpoint had been different. So why was that important to you? How did you kind of evolve the idea of the catering chef?
Well, yeah, the catering chef, I really had to really take it in and accept it. And okay, so the catering kind of say, the way people view catering, they never viewed it as serious cooking.
No, it was like rubber chicken dinners, right?
Yeah, for sure. No one respected the catering chef because they expected bad food. So once I ended up leaving Moto and Ink, we started doing underground dinners. Those became really popular. We started off doing a table of 8, and then we'd do a table of 25. Someone's at that table like, oh, you guys can do this at are you guys able to do this at our place? From coming from that fine dining background, the words was always, yes, we'll make it work. We make it happen. So we had that, Heather and I, Heather, also my wife, both worked at Moto and at True. So we both had them same type of values when it came to, the service industry. So as we were saying, yes, we was going to people's homes, it's kind of just like happened on accident. We going to people's home, we doing these fancy cocktail parties, these 5-course meals with wine pairings and stuff like that. So it turns to, my daughter's getting married, my niece getting married, my nephew's having this bar mitzvah. Are you guys able to make it work? Can you guys do that? Yeah. So we, it kind of just like snowballed from there. We became a catering. And then like once the bar really got rolling, this was like 2013. By 2015, I really started soaking it in like, yo, it's like no one's really catering on this level that I know about, So I kind of like wanted to embrace it. And I kind of wanted to change the Chicago scene, help change the Chicago dining scene is the way that people view catered food.
Yeah, you mentioned Heather, your wife, so it's family, clearly, and you're going into people's homes, which is a very intimate type relationship. And if you can bring that level of quality and integrity, but still make it simple and comfortable, I think is a really sweet spot. And so clearly you kind of carved that out for yourself in that. And then Soul and Smoke, why did it become important for you to bring that brand kind of into the Chicago market?
All right, so the Soul and Smoke. So what happened was, in 2013, when I ended up leaving Moto, we started feasting and buy. We started doing, the court style meals with the wine pairings and stuff like that. But at the same time, we had corporations asking us to drop off food. So that type of food wasn't able to be dropped off. So then I had to avert to something that, I was really, I know mac and cheese. I couldn't make a pan of mac and cheese. I could, I can grill a pan of chicken. I just had a brand new smoker. I was into smoking meats. So we first started off with the pulled pork, and then the brisket stuff eventually started going into ribs and things like that. But it kind of, we understand that we had to come up with a different concept if we wanted to kind of meet that demand that was coming into us. Mind you, we was just leaving the culinary industry, so we wasn't like, stacked with money.
Sure.
Great like that. We had a couple credit cards, and we were just going week to week. Every week was a gamble, but it was turning out good, and people was hearing about it, and people was writing about it, and people was interested. So so Soul and Smoke, Feast and the Bible started building up, and then Soul and Smoke started, slowly building it, at the same time as Feast and the Bible. My heart was always in Feast and the Bible because I really wanted to be a respectful chef. I think that when most people, start working at fine dining restaurants, like you said, you going from intern, you're peeling potatoes, you're taking real pride into the food. Like someday, you want to be a respectful, you want to be good at what you do. So.
Yeah, I love that. So you mentioned it, like you didn't have any money, like most startups, most of that like grimy hustle mentality, that entrepreneurial spirit meets the insanity of being a chef, right? Pirates on the pirate ship. So you had a couple credit cards, you're just figuring out a way to make it happen. Who are some people in those early days that were like keeping you motivated, saying you got this, or bringing you back down to earth, saying don't get too crazy, opening a second spot? Like, what was that like for you? Who were some of those people that helped motivate you in those times?
Honestly, it was, to keep it honest, like I was doing tastings with the Moto staff, the server crew, some of the kitchen crew. I invited them to my place, like try this out. And then also, man, I gotta admit, man, Chicago has some of the best foodies. the best, most loyal foodies, man. They really supported us in the beginning. They had our back 100%. And, you know, yeah, I mean, in those early, you know, I really didn't have like, because no one was like really into catering like that. So I really didn't have like a catering chef to talk to. I talked to Omar a couple of times, you know, as far as like starting a, you know, we started our own business, and he was like real supportive of us. In the beginning, he was tweeting us out. You know, he gave me the heads up that Eater wanted to give me my first interview and stuff like that. You know, he was there, you know, for mentorship. But like I said, man, early 2013, like those years, no one respected the catering chef, which I was cool with it, you know, but I wanted to prove a point into the culinary game.
Yeah, it seems like you like the idea of being underestimated. Like, just wait, just watch. I'm going to come at you with some stuff you haven't seen before, which I think is, I love that mentality. I think it's something that's so in us. And when you were at a place that everything was clicking, the star was there, the accolades were there, you guys were getting it all, you went and jumped off the deep end and said, I'm going to go do something that hasn't been done or done the way that you wanted to see in Chicago. The Chicago foodie, you mentioned that. Why is Chicago such a great food city?
I think it's, I don't know. It's just something I really can't describe. I know we got a lot of passionate chefs here, you know, a lot of great chefs. And then we have a lot of, you know, foodies that's, you know, that's willing to be, you know, open-minded to cuisine. You know, it's a lot of people, you know, and that's a big difference between Soul and Smoke and Feast and Abide for us. You know, you got the more approachable food with Soul and Smoke. You got the more creative food with Feast and Abide. And it was a lot of, you know, diners that was willing to be creative. And if they wasn't really to, you know, be that creative, sometimes you got the meat and potatoes people, which is great. You know, people like eating food that they're really familiar with. Yeah, and it's kind of like roll from there.
I like it. I want for everybody that watches this, that listens to this in Chicago or anywhere else, on both sides of that equation. It's so important. We call them unsung hospitality heroes. And a lot of times I include, not a lot of times, all the time, I include those guests, those foodies, as you kind of called them, because they matter. Like their willingness to go on that journey with you is so important, because you would not be here, period, full stop, if it was not for people saying, yes, I want that level of catering that DeAndre and Heather are bringing to the table. So I want people to know, if you're a chef out there, cultivate community. It matters. And if you're on the other side, support your chefs, especially now. So let's talk about now. Okay. Right now, the work that's happening with you, the Trotter Project, this shit is heavy. It's hard. It's difficult. It's crazy. Yet still, hospitality is so innate in you that you're struggling. Your business is struggling. I know. Yet you're like, how do we feed people? Because that's the purest form of hospitality. So talk about your work right now in the Trotter Project.
Yeah, so right now we're working with the Trotter Project, and they've been amazing, you know. So I don't know if you know that. So my wife and I, we had a recent loss of our son right around this time, like in January, you know. Then COVID-19 picking up like around February, stuff like that. But man, we just had to for us, the kind of like the mental counseling for it was to like stay busy, because you got to keep in mind, like coming from like fine dining, right? You working at least 60, 70 hours in 1 week. And then you go from fine dining to running your own business. And, you know, a lot of people think like, okay, I'm about to have my own business. I'm about to live the life. No, you about to work way more than you work for anybody else, because you want to call 24 hours for your own, especially if you want to, you know, succeed at it. You just don't. I never just wanted to start a business just to say I had a business. I wanted a successful business. You know, we've been around like 8 years right now, and everything's been going great. Working with, you know, organizations like the Trotter Project, WCK, you know, Evanston has been a really big support group for us as well. And yeah, it's just amazing to be able to help. And I thank the Trotter Project for allowing us, you know, to help people, you know, together.
Yeah, and World Central Kitchen was there. What was it like having that team, José Andrés, rolling through the kitchen? I mean, the energy there had to be through the roof.
Yeah. So the Trotter Project. So we work with the Trotter Project to feed the Monastery School of Inglewood, And yeah, and actually José Andrés came on site to Inglewood, to the Montessori school in Inglewood. He was there. He met us there. We shook hands. We took pictures. He thanked me a lot. He actually called me one of the best chefs when I was like, oh, this the legend is right here.
Right.
He is the legend. He is the man. But yeah, man, I was just so happy to see him, like in that neighborhood, like he in the neighborhood, like talking to people, shaking people's hands, it was great energy, WCK, the Charter Project, they all been super, super, super great to us.
So let's talk about Inglewood. Talk about the people of that neighborhood. Talk about why they matter. And let's talk also about the cooks, the people that are there serving these meals, because most of them are part of that community as well. How's that community galvanized through this time?
Man, it's like I live in Evanston right now. Like I grew up on the south side, in 100s on 132nd Street, not too far from Inglewood. And I know, it's like I know what's like kind of like going on. I know people feel forgotten about. I know people feel like it's, no one there to help, so once again, like hooking up with the Charter Project, being able to bring, meals to Inglewood was just really comforting to me. I definitely want to be a part of anything, that's helping, dark and brown people.
Yeah. Talk about some interactions there, because I want people to really, let's paint a picture for people. You're in the Montessori school, you're producing these meals, you're really good at it, because I've talked to other chefs that are, used to doing 112 meals, super high end, 6 courses, right? Like you were. Now they're doing 400 pounds of turkey for XYZ dish. It's completely different for them. You were really good at it because you had been doing catering, right? So let's set the tone there. The interactions that you have, what's it like to cook alongside somebody who's just there to feed people, or the interaction that you get when somebody says, this is going to keep me alive today? Not just like, this is food that's cool and interesting and creative. This is going to keep me alive today. Talk about that interaction. Take people in to that kitchen, into those meals that you guys are preparing.
So the meals I prepare here, at our kitchen, they all individually packed, they labeled, they reheatable. And then we, pack them up, and then we take them to Inglewood, and the project kind of, distribute the meals. But once you get there, man, you pull up, man, you see the people, it's just a sight to see, man. You see it, you see like the pain, you see the hurt. And then when you see them they get the meals from us, Charter Project, giving them gallons of fresh milk, farm fresh milk, face masks, hand sanitizer, things like that. And like you just can see like the habit. They got something. It's like you're getting a gift every day. Like it's like what it's like to get a gift. It feels good to get a gift. So you get the gift, and then you go home and then you enjoy the gift. I think that's what makes it really special.
Has this changed the way? Let's talk about the future a little bit. Has this changed the way that you view your responsibility and your ability to deliver hospitality, when you now have been stripped down, and we all have, to the purest form? Just take care of another human being. That's all that matters. Do you see yourself now reimagining what happens next? Because now we got to start thinking about what happens next as a chef, as a leader in your community. Are you thinking about that any differently because of this experience?
Yeah. I think of it different, but like for us personally, by us being a catering company, everything kind of just already fit. If it really just fit for us, I had the team, I had the kitchen, we had the vehicles, we had packing material, we had menus. I had menu items that I was comfortable doing that I knew people would like, and that's another thing, you go to those neighborhoods, and then if you go back to talking about, being like creative food versus, approachable food, you got to go off what people are, familiar with, you gotta, when I cook food for people, I really want them to enjoy. I'm not making the food just to say, I cook for people in need. I make delicious meals, yo. We giving them, pulled pork, we getting smoked brisket, we doing jerk chicken, we doing Cajun shrimp pasta with garlic bread. I'm giving them something to feel good, You know, I want them to feel good. It's like I'm giving a piece of feel good. You know, he goes a piece of feel good. You know, like enjoy this.
Yes.
You know, so yeah. I don't know.
And that's going to continue to sustain. I think one of the most important things is because and you actually went in this direction. A lot of times I've been guilty of it so many times, trying to be too chefy, trying to like prove my mustard, prove what I'm capable of instead of just delivering for what's needed in the moment for the people, for the community. So I love that you said, this is what I'm going to do. You went to Feast and Imbibe and did that. You went even further with Soul and Smoke and said, I'm just going to smoke some pulled pork, and it's going to be the best damn pulled pork that Chicago has seen. And like, you still, right? Because you still got some swagger and bravado. You're still a chef, right?
Yeah, you still got. I mean, you got the chef mentality. You know, you want to be the best at what you do, and then you care. You know, that's why I tell my kitchen crew all the time. It's not about coming to work. It's not about getting that paycheck. It's about you caring for somebody, man. Because at the end of the day, if you caring, you know, you're gonna make sure the sauce is not oversalt. You don't take the salt. You know something wrong with the sauce, and you know, pack it up anyway. Come on, man. That's not showing no type of care, and I don't believe in that, and I won't allow it in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, we care. You know, we want people to have something to feel good about. You know, we put our heart and soul in this. You know, so yeah, man.
I'm in, man. I'm all about it. I love it. So give us a breakdown, kind of give people some context a little bit. Like, how many meals are you making each day? Maybe how many meals you've made total? How many people are on your team? Give us some context there.
So right now, at this point, we between the Trotter Project, Royal Citrus Kitchen, the Evanston Community Foundation, and the Connections for the Homeless here in Evanston, we've done over 30,000 meals since mid-March. Like 30,000 meals. We've done about, right now, we're doing about 3,500 a week. You know, anywhere, you know, from 600 to like 800 meals, like Monday through Friday. Yeah.
And who's on the crew? Look, let's talk about some of those unsung hospitality heroes. Who's in there making that delicious pulled pork alongside you? Because I know it takes a village.
Yeah, it definitely takes a village. It takes a village. So I got one of my homies, Hugo. Hugo, he used to be the sous chef at Ing, so I'm already familiar with Hugo. When I was the sous chef at Moto, he was a sous chef at Ing. You know, so we spent a lot of time together. And then also I got Victor. You know, he worked at Ing as well. So he's been with me for the longest. He's been with me, I say, about 6.5 years. I got Angie, I got Lewis, I got Stacy, I got a friend who I grew up with named Lazidrick, you know, a hometown buddy, so he can see what's going on. Because he know me from when I was a kid, and he's seeing
back in the day, huh?
Back in the day when I didn't even know I wanted to be a chef, you know. Yeah. So for him to see what's going on right now, it makes him proud, make my community proud, makes my family proud. You know, my family, they super supportive, and they tell me all the time like how proud I am. So that really makes me feel good too.
It's so important to be acknowledged, and to acknowledge others is so the game. And again, I think this moment is such a struggle, but it is allowing us the opportunity to slow down and like reflect on who matters. And I can really, really appreciate that. So I love that. All right, as we wrap up, any last thoughts, anything you want to share with us, with your community, with your fellow chefs, anything like that? Drop some nuggets on us to kind of take us out into the day.
Man, Chicago, we have some of the best chefs in the world, some of the best restaurants. You know, man, you guys keep going, you hang in there. I mean, I got positive vibes about everything, you know, slowly coming back to normal. The foodies, continue to shop local, continue to shop with the small restaurants. You know, we really need you right now. Those big guys, you know, they first in line for the PPP loans. They good, man. It's the people like, you know, Heather and I who start off credit cards, you know, and we have a company right now. We had the Evanston Farmers Market every Saturday. You want to try some of that brisket, you know, the pulled pork. I got the baby back ribs there, the mac and cheese rib, popular seller as well. We've been doing take and bake cinnamon rolls from take and bake cinnamon rolls and take and bake cookies also.
Yeah, what's the farmer's market? You say you just came from there. Your vibe was high because you were just at the market. That's a chef's fuel.
I know, man. I was there at 7 a.m. So I had to get up at 5 a.m. to get ready for the market. I had to be there at 7 a.m. I stayed there from 7 to 12:15 because I knew I had to talk with you. But it's the Evanston Farmers Market. You know, it's in downtown Evanston. You know, I'm there every Saturday. I'm gonna be there because I want to talk to the people. I want to meet the people. I want to introduce the brand to the people. You know, yeah. And then also,
I love it. I could just see you just like shoulder up because it's like kid in a candy store for a chef to be at the market.
I care, man. I care, and you know, I consider myself a foodie too, man. And you know, you go to these restaurants, you know, that you got the team, you know, working. You know, I know how it feels to be in there. You know, you start your Mondays off at 10 a.m. You're not leaving till 1 in the morning. You know, because you got to catch up on the prep and everything. If you sold out everything, you got to be back again at 11 in the morning, and you might be there to 12. You know, so on and so forth. So I know the hard work those guys putting in. And, you know, sometimes you just want that face to connect. You know, you just want that face to connect with the company. Yes. And I feel that's really important, especially for us right now.
Give us a shout out. One farmer, rancher, producer that's at the market right now that you're just really hype on that people got to go check out and support.
You got to check out Nichols Farm. You got to check out Benison's Bread. Who else? Yeah, it's a wide range of people to pick from, but those are some.
Love it. All right, Sophie's going to make sure and get them linked up because we want to show them some support. I'm excited I got a lot of pins in the map right now, and Chicago is one, but now I'm moving it a little bit up to Evanston because with you there, with Amy Morton and Debbie Gold, I mean, icons and such great people.
Excited about Debbie coming to Evanston.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot happening in Evanston right now, and I'm grateful for the conversations I've been able to have with the Chicago area. A lot of good energy coming out of Chicago. So thank you so much for the leadership, the wisdom, the hustle, and supporting the community of chefs and Inglewood and all of Chicago and Evanston. Appreciate you.
Hey, Jensen, thanks so much for having me.
All right, get back to work. I know you got a lot of smoking, a lot of cooking to do, my friend. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Take care. Thanks.
Cheers. Evanston, look out. Watch out. Pin in the map for Evanston, Debbie Gold. I mean, if you've ever watched this, you know, absolute legend, period. End of story. For me personally, you know, gave me a job at 23, let me learn so much. Farmer Lee Jones, she's the one that connected us to get him on the show. Derek Hole, it's just, I love what's happening. I love Janet Isabelli and having them on the show as well. So a lot of good things coming out of Chicago and very specifically out of Evanston. Now I completely lost the name. People, help me out here. So really, really great. DeAndre Carter, Heather doing amazing work out there. Super important. And here's what I love about this. You could tell the energy and the excitement when talking about José Andrés, absolute legend. And then when we talk about the farmer's market, I mean, about jumped out of his seat. That's real for chefs. And and it should be for everybody. It's real. Appreciate that. All right. Great week of the Best Served live shows this week. We're really getting into a rhythm now. I'm feeling good about it. I would love comments, sharing, please. We're starting to really hit stride. And let us know how we continue to support you, the community. Who do I need to talk to on this show? I got Sophie, who's live right now. You can see her doing all the commenting, amazing work. Corey Nelson has been working hard getting all of our content and these videos onto YouTube. So check out YouTube as well. You can start to see those videos there as we're trying to get a little more dynamic over here. I'm just going to keep hustling and communicating, keep having conversations. That's why I got really smart, talented people out there supporting the work that we're doing because it matters. It's really having an impact for us personally, for our guests, for their communities, and our unsung hospitality heroes at large. So thank you for the opportunity. I'm truly grateful. You're going to start to see a lot more channels coming out of this. We're going to start to really focus and target our stories very specifically to kind of the types of conversations, the types of guests, the audience as well, so we can bring the most value to whatever it is that you specifically are looking for within the industry, always tethering back to why and who before what and how. It's why we get out of bed in the morning and got up at 5 a.m. to go to the farmer's market because it matters, and who really matters, all the people that are part of our community inside and outside those four walls of the restaurant. So we'll see some more channels. Speaking of channels, the first new channel that we kind of launched is Best Served High, Hospitality Industry Good Health. My own struggles and journey through substance abuse, through mental issues, through being an asshole to my team at times because I got too caught up in my own bullshit, is going to be really highlighted. So health, wellness, fitness, supplements, CBD, anything that people formerly or currently in the industry, connected very closely to the industry, have been a part of, are a part of, that they can share with us. So we'd love to hear from who we can talk to, from yoga instructors to life coaches to nutrition to, again, supplements, things like that. That's what we're interested in. So tomorrow, 2 episodes. Gina Horton here in Denver, we're going to stay in Denver tomorrow, is doing a pop-up at Super Mega BN coming up. We're going to talk about that for acupuncture, free, really focusing on the hospitality industry. So I want to make sure everybody gets connected to that, because acupuncture absolutely is the type of thing can de-escalate the crazy shit that's going on in our bodies and minds right now. That's noon Mountain Time, and then 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I have Aaron Boyle, who just great chef, hustler, always trying to connect communities, has worked in the mental health field as a chef and supporting in that capacity. She's doing a lot of great work with the Denver Chefs Guild. We'll talk about that a little bit. Chow Culinary, Hospitality, Outreach, and Wellness. They very much, John Hinman, inspired my work on the acronym for this one. All right, that was a long outro. Thank you for anybody who continued to watch any of this. Really, really appreciate you. All right, go enjoy your Saturday. Cheers.